All right, gonna kind of dig into this rucksack here. This is a large Alice. All right. Now I started out, I was gonna use a medium M81 Woodland Alice, but I thought, well, I want to go and I want to stay overnight. I want to set up all this stuff, do videos, and I wanted to do a couple of stove reviews. I wanted to set up a full Scout Sniper LPOP type hide setup, you know, for the reconnoiter and blah blah blah. But you know, I just didn't take any video. I was bushed, man. I was tired, so I was just like, screw that. I'm just gonna hang out and eat some of my snacks, drink plenty of water, and one thing is, guys, is that my 3-liter hydration bladder that I use for when I'm walking, I throw a couple of tea bags in there and shake it up. Now, a lot of guys don't maybe know this, but you can make iced tea by just throwing tea bags in water. You know, you don't have to boil tea and then cool it first and cool it second. You know, you don't have to do that. So anyway, I moved away from the medium, right? This is a medium. It looks kind of small, right? But I got a lot of extra stuff on the outside on the pouches and whatnot. So this came off of this frame. I did not have these wings, okay? These are Mystery Ranch wings. I had these laying around there in Coyote Brown. I thought that would help a bit because this is just a kidney pad back there with a couple of, you know, 2-inch wide web straps. Nah, not much, man. No. In October, I'm going to do this all again, but I'm either going to use a different rucksack and different suspension, or I'll use this rucksack with a different suspension. Either or, it's going to be different suspension, right? Anyway, I don't have any high-speed Woodland straps for either. You know, they're just olive drab. But this is the medium. It's a nice little pack, good for a patrol pack or you know, direct action type thing, but not for long range. Not for going out for a few weeks or whatnot, or a month. All right, so let's get into this over here. So as you saw, this is my Swagman roll, Helicon Tech Swagman roll. I got a couple of nitpicks about it, but I also have a lot of good to say about it. Overall, I'm super happy with it. I give it a 9 out of 10. Alright? I would give it a 10 out of 10, except for the hardware. And I will go over the hardware situation with you because it came out in the trip. Right? It came out in the trip, the hardware situation did. So anyway, the theme is tiger stripe and basically, you know, concealment for heavily vegetated, you know, spring summer situation, right? That's the theme we're going for on this, because this is in April, you know, it's springtime, so we're just going to go with that theme. Go in the winter, probably go with a winter theme, right? Browns and coyote browns and tans and whatnot. Okay, which I also have a whip antenna that I have painted for the occasion, you know, so I have another whip antenna like this in my stash. This is a 42-inch, 108 centimeter, I think, whip antenna. Alright, so getting onto the front here, I got these pockets A lot of guys will throw their poncho in the top of their Bergen or their rucksack, however you like to call it. Well, and then a lot of guys keep candy bars and other crap like that up here. Well, I've got my poncho up here. Now, it starts getting really inclement weather. I don't want to mess around with taking the rucksack off and digging in it, even if it's in the top. I don't want to have to be messing about with that. So I keep my poncho right here. And as you can see, I have it folded up into the hood. Okay, if you don't know how to do that, it's very easy. You lay your poncho out on the ground, flip this one, flip that one, so everything's kind of centered, and then, you know, roll it up or square it up all the way until it's in the hood. Alright? That's all you do. Very simple. What else I got in here? Glasses case. Alright, so this I keep my glasses in, hard case, regular spectacles, and my sunshades. Alright? Matter of fact, I can take that out now. Alright. That's all that's in there. I could put, you know, a couple power bars or, you know, fruit kit, whatever I want in there if I wanted to. Alright, over here in this other one. Make sure it's still got you in frame. Scooch over a little bit. Here in this other one, I've got a Miltech. This is kind of like a autumn color. It's olive drab and brown, chocolate brown. Okay, this is not tiger stripe. It's not real bright green. It just kind of blends in with just about anything. Okay, so I've got that. That could be considered your sniper's veil, optics veil, etc. Right? It also gives you a bit of warmth when it starts cooling down a bit. Okay, get that up around your head. It is definitely gonna give you a couple degrees. All right. Now what I have here is I have bear spray, tiger stripe camoed by me. Basically, this is gun wrap. Put the gun wrap on. Put a tiny little Q-tip in the hole there, right? And then go to town. And then when you're done and it's dry, take the Q-tip out and then just kind of hit it with spray paint from the sides like that and just let it kind of get in there. But don't straight back in there, you'll clog your hole, right? Always shake this up about once a month. Keeps you good. Right? Bear spray. Now, I said I was going to take two. Well, let me tell you, I'm not perfect. Here's the other one. Right? I forgot it. This was set up for autumn, winter. So basically, it's coyote brown, coyote tan. Same thing, gun tape. Gun tape gives you good adherence with your hands, and it also gives good adherence for the paint. So it's not just flaking off if you whack it when you're moving around stuff. Alright? That one I did not take. I did take the tiger stripe one. Something else I forgot to take. This is a very important item. This is a back scratcher. You set up in a hide, LPOP, got an itch, you can't be making a lot of racket, can't be like making a lot of movement. This particular one is fairly new. It's bamboo. I've had wood and bamboo in the same type, okay? The wood ones don't last as long, okay? They just don't, because they rot out. They break. Especially some mothers get a hold of them and they start, you know, disciplining their kids. Sometimes they break like that. Anyway, this one's bamboo. I've long time, but I've had several. It's a good one. You always make sure you got your tactical back scratcher when you're in your hide or your LPOP. Right? So I've done these two pouches in the front. Alright? So these are actually both empty. So I will leave them open. That means they're clear. Right? So when you take everything out of your rucksack, it's just like clearing a room, right? Clear, nothing else in it. It's clear, right? It's just a way to keep you thinking about certain things. Now I'm going to go ahead and open these straps. One thing I do like about the Alice straps is they have these quick disconnects, and they have this to where you could just pull that up and you could let it fall off the back. Let's throw this over here. Oh, my phone ran out of battery, so I don't even know what time it is. Check the dang camera. Alright. Got about 4 or 5 minutes left. I'm not going to get through the whole ruck in one video. I'm going to come back in the second video, so be ready. Alright, I'm going to loosen this strap up. These knots are here for a purpose. Alright. Just grab it and pull. Alright. This radio pouch. Here's the radio that was in it. Alright. Handset disconnected from the whip antenna. This little guy right here is for your remote control access. So some of you guys that have had admin panels, alright, you could be controlling all of your communications from that little area, and then the controller for the radio is also there, right? I don't really need anything like that. I got 2 or 3 controllers in the other room. I don't use them. I just have them there. Yeah, so radio pouch. So this is an old one. Got it surplus, and it's made for several different types of radios. In here I have my original. This is from the late 80s. I did testing on this unit and gave feedback to Katadin. I'm the guy that came up with these floaties for this unit to float the hose. You notice it's got the old style spout. You can't put anything on it like new stuff. Alright, so this wasn't this is just like an exercise, so I just thought I would take that in case it needed it. That is a just-in-case item that you probably should always have as a way to filter water. Because I had a really bad case of dysentery years ago that I never want to repeat. I think that's all I got in there right now. Right now, I'm wearing... I started out, when I got out of the vehicle, when I disembarked from the vehicle, I had just the Norwegian Bringy mesh wool long underwear top and the uniform blouse. Okay, that's what I had on. The longer I went, the chillier it got, and it started to get very misty with a lot of moisture in the air, and then eventually it was drizzly rain, right? So, but when I disembarked from the vehicle, I knew that that was going to happen, and I changed into my olive green 100% wool shirt, long sleeve shirt. So I put that on, then I put my uniform top back on, and then a rucking I went. So when I did that, I had that in a plastic Ziploc bag. And when I got it out of there, I put the plastic Ziploc bag in there. I put it over top of the radio. Because even though the radio is supposed to be waterproof, you always want a little extra protection, right? Okay. So, I brought this cold steel shovel. Alright, brought this for two reasons. One is if you got to do a shovel recce, which is you got to go have a crack, right? Okay. And number two, you guys probably all laugh at me every time you hear me say this, but I saw it. I was marching right through werewolf territory. I saw that werewolf. Nobody will ever convince me otherwise. I mean, that thing was the real deal, man. The real McCoy. Anyway, we're in right here in civilization, even though there's woods everywhere. You can't go running around with the weapon, right? So this isn't a weapon, but it's a weapon. I think the guy that has the most kills with the shovel is 11. I think he got 11 confirmed kills. He's got a certificate for it from the military. Anyway. Yeah, they give them out. Whack enough guys, they're like, oh wow, man, we should give this guy an award. Alright. So, something I had when I fell down, because I talked about that in another video. I did fall down because the crappy conditions that I was in, walking, marching. This is a homemade from a bicycle inner tube spectacles keeper. It's a strap to keep the old spectacles on the face. So I had that on when I went for a little ride. Luckily, here's something I had in my pocket. I didn't use it because I didn't need it, at least early on. I probably would have used it later. But it is a tiger stripe balaclava. So it's the same color basically pretty much as that. So I had this, it's in my pocket, ready to go. Check the time, get carried away. Alright guys, 18 minutes in, hopefully it uploads. I'll see you in the next one.